Hi everyone, I am Zeek from Food as Fuck, and this is vlog 3. Today what I want to talk about are the kitchen food essentials. So the things that you need to have in your house for you to be able to come up with a meal on the fly. I'm going to break this down into categories, and there's going to be 7 of them. But before we talk about any of them, there's going to be a general rule. The general rule is use what you have at home. I encourage getting into the habit of trying to come up with a dish with whatever it is that you have in the house. Don't try to go out of your way and go buy every single ingredient for a specific dish that you think needs each and every single one of those ingredients, right? That's the beauty of cooking. You can play around with things, right? You can make things your own. You can add and take away and just flip things upside down. Really, you can do whatever you want with cooking. That's why it's awesome. You can always figure out a way to combine things in order for you to make something delicious out of it in the end. People always ask me, what kind of food do you do? Like, is it Asian cuisine, or is it Mediterranean, or is it, whatever it is? And I always don't know how to answer that because, I don't like using the word fusion, but I just put flavors that I've experienced throughout my life in a way that my imagination thinks they can work together. And that's just really how I cook. So without further ado, category number 1. Let's start with category number 1. Yes, I can say category and I can say category. Vegetables. Okay, so my pick for essential vegetables that you should have in the house are number 1, onions, without a doubt. Onions are the foundation for almost a lot of things that I can think of. So make sure you have onions at your house at all times. It really doesn't matter what kind of onions you have, just choose whatever it is that you like. Second vegetable you should have in your house is garlic, and garlic is onion's best friend, so please don't separate them. You should have tomato sauce. Yes, I know I said sauce, but I'm just counting it as a vegetable, okay? Okay? So why did I choose these 3? Onions, garlic, and tomato sauce. If you have onions, garlic, and tomato sauce on hand at any time, you can do a lot of things. Which brings me into my next tip. Now, the beautiful thing about those 3 ingredients that I have mentioned is you can freeze these things. So that is actually what I do, right? Like, I just go out, buy a lot of onions, I buy a lot of garlic, and I buy a lot of tomato sauce. I chop up my onions, chop up the garlic, put them in Tupperware, throw them in the freezer, open up my tomato sauce, put it in little plastic cups from the dollar store, and then I just portion into them how much tomato sauce I want, and that also goes into the freezer. And then you have onions and garlic for months. So those are the 3 veggie essentials. However, if you can, I would add 2 more things to that: parsley and cilantro. Because parsley and cilantro can also get the same treatment. So you chop up the parsley and the cilantro really, really fine, put them in Tupperware or whatever it is that you want, and again, just throw them in the freezer. And then you have fresh herbs that you can use whatever you want. Category/category number 2, the pantry. Now the pantry is very important. Make sure you have some kind of noodle in your pantry. So by noodles, I mean you can have any type of pasta that you want, and I really mean any type, right? So spaghetti or lasagna or tortellinis or fusillis or whatever it is that you really want, just have some kind of noodle, right? So it could be in pasta, it could be some kind of ramen, glass noodles, egg noodles. Make sure you have some kind of noodle. Also make sure that you have some kind of beans in your pantry. So I usually get canned beans, right? And it really doesn't matter, you can have whatever you want. So you can choose between red kidney beans, white kidney beans, pinto beans, you can have chickpeas, you can have black-eyed peas, really just whatever you want, right? Just make sure you have a kind of bean. Lately, I've actually been really digging these cans that come with anywhere from 5 to 7 different types of beans. And you can use beans in a lot of dishes, right? Like you can chili with beans, you can put them into casseroles, you can make some chicken dishes with beans, you can make meat dishes with beans. Have you had red kidney bean falafel before? I don't think so. Not many people have. Maybe we'll make an episode about it one day. I can think of 100 things that you can add beans to. Make sure you have an all-purpose flour. You can use it for a lot of things too. And rice. Just have some rice lying around. White, brown, whatever. Just have some rice. Pantry done. Category slash category number 3, sauces or sauce. So sauces are important because sauces go a long way in transforming your food. So top sauces that I would recommend for anybody to have in their kitchen are soy sauce. I mean, come on, that's a no-brainer. Sesame seed oil, because it is really good and it works in a lot of different dishes. You also need some kind of sauce with heat. So Sriracha, in my opinion, is the perfect all-purpose hot sauce. It is tasty and it is not too mild and it's not too hot and it's just great. Sriracha is beautiful. You should always have Sriracha in the fridge, always. Mustard, because mustard is very importante, especially for marination sometimes, a ton of sandwiches. And just mustard is awesome. You should have mustard. Now, I don't know if you can call this a sauce, but I am going to include it in the sauces category. So mayo, make sure you have mayo at home because mayo is great. You can use it for a lot of sauces. You can make grilled cheese sandwiches with it. You can make a lot of stuff with mayo. So mayo is good. Always have mayo in the fridge, especially if you are married to a Japanese woman. Make sure you have mayo in the fridge. The last sauce on my list is going to have to be the oyster sauce. And I find that oyster sauce is a very good thing to have around. Oyster sauce is great when you are trying to make sort of very earthy, maybe beefy dishes. Very good for gravy. Very good for a lot of, it's just very good for a lot of things. Category slash category number 4, spices. So spices are extremely important and there is a ton of them. But I'm trying to keep this list down to a bare minimum in each sort of category here. So if I had to choose between the absolute essential spices that you should have in your house, I would go with salt and pepper is a given. We're not going to even include them on the list. If you don't have salt and pepper in your house, I really don't know what to say. There's something wrong with you. Like, seek help. Nutmeg. Nutmeg is amazing and it just, man, what nutmeg does to a lot of things. You should have nutmeg in your spice rack. You should also have cinnamon. Now cinnamon, a lot of people think that cinnamon is only or mainly used in sweet dishes, but that is just not true. Cinnamon is a fantastic savory kind of spice too. I can't imagine not having cinnamon in my house at any given point. Third spice that I'm gonna be adding to the list is cumin. Cumin is amazing. It adds a very nice sort of freshness if you're using it, especially in salads and things like that, even outside of salads. Like I use cumin all over the place and it's really, really good. Make sure you have cumin in your house. Bay leaves, make sure you have bay leaves in your spice rack somewhere. Bay leaves are very, very important. Stocks, stews, casseroles, just soups, a ton of dishes. Bay leaves are very, very essential. Make sure you have bay leaves. And to keep it short, the last thing that's gonna top off our spice list is have some kind of stock powder or stock cubes or stock pot or something like that, right? So chicken, like powdered chicken stock or powdered vegetable stock or powdered beef stock or whatever kind of stock that you want, but make sure you have a powdered version of it. Yeah. Category slash category number 5, dairy. 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 Cheese, one of my absolute favorite things. Now there's a ton of cheese out there and that is a great thing, but if I had to choose only one kind of cheese to have just for pure versatility, I would go with a cheddar cheese. I personally like smoked cheddar cheese. If it's double smoked, that's even better. But yeah, cheddar cheese is fantastic. You can incorporate it into a ton of things. Category slash category number 6, eggs. That's it. Eggs are incredible. Eggs deserve a category by themselves. Eggs can do nothing wrong in my book. Eggs are eggs, man. Eggs. Eggs. If you can run out of anything on this list today, you can run out of everything. But you do not run out of eggs. Serious. Category slash category number 7. Category slash category number 7. Category/category number 7. Category/category number 7. Meats. So meats are pretty straightforward. Just make sure you have some kind of chicken in the freezer or meat of any other kind in the freezer that you like. I personally like chicken. I always have, at any point, some chicken in the freezer, and I always have some kind of sausage in the freezer. And that helps a lot when I need to put something really, really quick together. And that's pretty much it. Now, the beautiful thing, if you follow my 7 steps here today, or 7 categories or categories or whatever you want to call them, is if you have a minimum of 3, and I'm talking about any 3 from the 7 things that we've talked about today, you can get away with 2 in some cases, but minimum 3, then you have something to make a dish out of. So that's it. That's been my kitchen food essentials. I hope that I gave you guys some insight into some things or helped you to come up with some stuff, and it'll make your adventures in the kitchen a little bit more interesting and easier. Thank you so much, guys, for watching our videos. If you like what we do, please hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, share our videos, comment down below. We love you guys for all the support that you've been showing us so far. I've been Zeek from Food as Fuck, and I'll see you guys next time. Pow! How can you have onions without garlic? Or garlic without onions? Well, you can't have garlic without onions. But you can't have onions without garlic. Not here. Category/category number 4. Category/category number 5. I personally don't like to eat raw tomatoes. The shock. Chop all that stuff up, put it in Tupperware, and then just put it in the freezer. Spice. So growing up, I remember the first ever cooking show that I've ever watched was called The Urban Peasant. This was around the time of Yan Can Cook and and all these guys.